Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and let's talk about Amazon's newest travesty in the making, a God of War series. Yeah, I can already tell you out the gate, I don't care about this, and my reasoning is twofold. We'll still go over the article, but I do want to let you guys know up front. One, I'm not a massive God of War fan. Like, I liked the first couple games. They're fine. I'm more of a Devil May Cry guy when it comes to hack and slash. I've said that on streams before. And not the newest one, but the reboot that came out, just God of War, God of War 4. It was fine. Like, it was cool to see the Norse mythology. It was, cool to see a change of pace, but I just don't really care for overly cinematic games that stop feeling like a video game and start feeling like a pretentious movie. I don't think it deserved all the praise it got. Don't get me wrong, there's always times when stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something new is a good change, and I do think that it was refreshing to see a change from God of War, but not necessarily amazing. So, with me not being a huge fan of the franchise, and me being very hesitant to believe that video game adaptations will work, especially ones done by Amazon, we're going to go ahead and go over this article and see what we can learn. God of War live-action series officially announced for Prime Video. Cory Balrog will serve as executive producer. Cory Barlog. I say Balrog, I mean Amazon, Lord of the Rings, it fits. I'm going to, right out the gate, I'm going to say, didn't they cancel the upcoming Conan series because it was too masculine? Like, that was a thing. Do you guys remember that? Amazon was working on a Conan series, but because of, woke identity politics, they decided that masculinity bad and canceled the Conan show. The fuck are they gonna do with God of War then? I mean, look at all the masculinity butchered in video game TV shows recently. We had Halo, which made Master Chief a bitch. I know it's not a video game, but we have The Boys, which has just destroyed the source material of the comics. I mean, adaptations nowadays are garbage. There was no masculinity in Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. If you even want to call that tripe Lord of the Rings. So, no, when you have an uber-violent masculine character like Kratos and people who have a hard-on for destroying masculinity in Hollywood nowadays, how is this gonna work? Let's read and find out. Prime Video has announced that it will officially order a God of War live-action series in co-production with Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions. Amazon's Prime Video service says that the live-action series will be an adaptation of the Santa Monica Studios sequel series, following Kratos in the Norse realm of Midgard, following his quest for vengeance in ancient Greece. So, you're not even gonna you're not even gonna honor the source material. Like Kratos, the God of War series started with Greek mythology, and you're just gonna, for your series, ignore all that? You have prime real estate to go back and redo those stories with your vision, with the Greek mythology, to kind of catch people up and maybe get to the Norse stuff eventually. Like, so what, you're just gonna retell the story of two games that are relatively new but in live action? That's already going to be shittier because people can just play the game and they'll get to have a hands-on experience that they can emotionally connect to. So that already sounds dumb. I could almost respect the idea of doing the Grease stuff in live action because you're going back in time. You're taking Kratos' history and kind of rejuvenating it if it's done properly. But this just already, that's a bad idea right out the gate. Like in the game, the series will follow Kratos as he journeys with his son to the highest peak as the final request from his late wife. It was reported earlier this year that Prime Video was in talks with PlayStation as a potential live-action series, but today's direct-to-order announcement confirms Prime Video is serious about the adaptation. The Wheel of Time's Rafe Judkins will serve as showrunner and executive producer, while Mark Fergus and Hawk Otsby, who worked on Iron Man and Children of Men, have boarded the series as writers and executive producers. Cory Barlog, said it right that time, will also serve as executive producer. Well, right out the gate, this makes me curious because, now, I've never read the Wheel of Time books. One of my best friends is a massive fan, and he is very much enjoying the show, but also has had some, gripes about it not matching with the source material. He's also a lot less harsh and critical than I am. He's just happy to see nerdy things be popular and getting made. So I have heard, aside from him, nothing but bad things about the Wheel of Time, and especially about it being an adaptation. So if you're getting somebody who's known for a poor adaptation to do another adaptation, that to me also doesn't bode well. Well, let's keep going. The God of War is a compelling character-driven franchise that we believe will captivate our global customers as much as the expansive and immersive worlds of its rich storytelling, says Amazon Studios, head of global television Vernon Sanders. We are so proud and excited to be working with our friends at Amazon Studios and our partners at PlayStation Productions to adapt this beautiful and heartbreaking game into a premium live-action series, adds Sony Pictures Television Studios president Catherine Pope. Here's the thing, the game is so new. Graphically, it already almost looks like a movie. It already, what can you add to it? Like, with the Mario movie coming out, I can get what you can actually add to it. It seems like it's going to be a bit of an origin story, which is fine, because we never really got an origin story from Mario. Those games have never really been story-driven. And also, visually, it looks gorgeous. So, you've got the wow factor. It looks like a movie based on a video game, whereas this game is already so realistic, it looks real as is. You don't need to. It's not cartoony like Mario, so you're not even going to be adding that, sort of a new dimension to it. And this is baffling in all the wrong ways. God of War was released in 2018 to critical acclaim. The sequel, God of War Ragnarok, was released in 2022 and was a top contender in several Game of the Year lists and categories. You can read IGN's God of War Ragnarok review here. No, I'm not going to. I can't stand you, IGN. I'm only here to cover this because I think this is a fucking travesty. And also, from what I heard, people had very, very negative opinions on how the game ends. I'm not going to play the game. I don't really care how it ends. But my point is, you might be jumping the gun, like, making a series based on an IP that people may have just been soured to from what I've heard of how people viewed the ending. Prime Video isn't just adapting God of War either. The Westworld creators are busy working on a live-action Fallout series. The company's released the first imagery of the series recently. Why? Fallout is one of the greatest game franchises out there. And pretty much anything post-apocalyptic set in some sort of wasteland is already a Fallout adaptation. We've already had a Fallout adaptation. It was called The Book of Eli. Watch it. It's Fallout for Christians. Like, this is insane. The reason video games work as games and not as adaptations for television is because you are actually removing an element. You are removing the interactivity. Now, have there been exceptions? Yes, of course. Detective Pikachu is an exception to the rule. The Sonic films are an exception to the rule. I hope Mario is an exception to the rule. Warcraft is even possibly an exception to the rule. I get really mixed opinions on that from fans of the game. Some fans of the game love the movie and some absolutely do not. So it's not as universal as the other three I named. But the point is, those are exceptions, not the rule. Let's list off the bad ones, shall we? Every Resident Evil adaptation, television, movie, anime, whatever. The only good ones are the CGI ones made by Capcom, and even then it's debatable if they're good, or at least just better than the crap we have. The Assassin's Creed film, the Tomb Raider films, the reboot of the Tomb Raider films, the most recent Uncharted film, the list goes on and on. Dead or Alive, Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li. I mean, Christ. Video games just shouldn't be done as adaptations unless you very, very clearly know how to work with the source material and know how to adapt the source material and can find a way to do it in a way that will compensate for you losing the game element, the playing element, which is such a massive undertaking. There's a reason these exceptions I listed are beloved by fans, because they were able to do it right. There's also a reason I was only able to list 3.5. Yeah, well, I think that's probably, yeah, that covers that. Look, if you guys are going to watch this, by all means, let me know in the comments. If you guys are going to watch the Fallout one, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to, for so many reasons. You know they're going to shoe in woke, force identitarian messages. You know they're going to take the masculinity away. You know that we're going to lose the gaming element, the element that actually makes it fun to play. But then again, these games are already basically just interactive movies. We've seen this time and time again. The most recent Resident Evil TV show on Netflix, which was Resident Evil in name only. Like, who is this for? Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm really trying to grow this channel. Please follow me on Twitter @BoltTheWord, and I really hope you're looking forward to my Sonic Prime review tonight, because man, I can't wait to share that with you as a diehard Sonic the Hedgehog fan who really hopes they're going to get it right. We'll see next time on Words of Paradise.